Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. $1 million worth of a hoard of 2,000-year-old gold coins was found by the unlikeliest of individuals. Let's explore. On this Christmas Day, we have some interesting news. Good news, one aspect here. We have a hoard of gold coins found by a bird watcher who stumbled upon 800,000 pounds or $1 million plus of 2,000-year-old Celtic gold or Celtic gold coins dating from the time of Boudica, was in rebellion with the Romans. Yes, indeed. Fascinating story that's been shared with me by John Firth and Doctor Who. We can see here on this Christmas Day, the breaking news is about a blast that occurred early this morning. Thankfully, on Christmas Day early, there was only injuries, but it looked like it was an intentional act. Prayers for the people of Nashville. A lot of property damage there, but it appears to be an intentional act. Quite harrowing indeed. But nonetheless, this story is fascinating to hear about another discovery of this treasure that's been found in the United Kingdom, which is just rich with history. Every time we find things like this and it makes headlines, it brings more attention to coin collecting in general, and also specifically gold, as a gold's value is quite transparent and obvious throughout the course of history. And so when I hear stories like this, it certainly does bring me to attention, and I think it's fascinating. Imagine finding this by accident, for sure, out there in the world, in a place steeped in history, such as England is in the United Kingdom. A bird watcher has stumbled across a hoard of 2,000-year-old Celtic gold coins worth 800,000 pounds. That's about $1,084,000. They date back to the time that Boudica was in direct rebellion with the Romans. I don't necessarily think it was a war at the time, but she wanted to go to war with the Romans for sure. The keen metal detectorist, who has not been named, spotted a glint of gold while looking at a buzzard in a recently plowed field in eastern England. Having rubbed off the mud to reveal a 2,000-year-old gold stater coin, he dashed home to pick up his metal detector and return to carry on searching. So, just so happens his bird watcher is also a keen metal detectorist as well. So, it worked out very well in his favor, because after several hours, and to his utter disbelief, he unearthed about 1,300 coins, all dating to circa 40 to 50 Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Experts believe each coin could be worth up to 650 pounds, putting the value of the hoard at 145,000 pounds. And again, that's probably about $1,100,000. The lucky finder says he saw a cascade of golden coins fall from the urn he had unearthed from a recently plowed field in eastern England. Look at that. It comfortably surpasses the previous record Celtic hoard of 850 coins found at Wickham Market, Suffolk, by another detectorist back in 2008. The lucky finder is remaining anonymous, but he is aged in his 50s and says the potential windfall would be life-changing for him. Oh, yeah, most for sure it would. The groundsman told Treasure Hunting magazine, although I am a keen detectorist, that evening I was doing a bit of bird watching. After watching a dog fight between a buzzard and a pair of magpies, imagine that, a dog fight between birds, who would have ever guessed it? I stared down and spotted something lying in a bit of the deep plowed soil which ran around the edge of the field. And there we go. Let's take a look at these pictures. There that picture is of the hoard together. Fascinating. And there is Boudica, Queen of the Icena, 61. Very cool indeed. And they are all grouped together. Actually, these coins are properly socially distanced, and these coins are not. They're all grouped together. This is the COVID correct placement of those coins. I bent down and picked up what I thought was an old washer, rubbed it and felt its thickness. I saw a glint of gold and realized it was a beautiful Celtic gold stater, which made me sit down in sheer shock. I then spotted the second coin 2 feet away and rushed home to get my detector. Now I'm turning into an Australian. It always happens to me when I try to do a British accent or an English accent, it always turns to Australian. Never fails. He returned and hovered the device over the same area and got a really strong signal. Now, how would that be for a Christmas day to be able to find all that gold? That would definitely make your Christmas a lot nicer, wouldn't it? After digging around 18 inches, he uncovered what looked to be a copper bangle, but was in fact the rim of what would have been a jug or urn that housed the coins. He said, gently lifting up the cascade of coins fell out, a vision which will remain with me for the rest of my life. I had to sit down to get my breath back. I had only come out for a walk and found the Celtic Hoard. At that moment, a friendly dog walker, using a public footpath next to the field, shouted to him in jest, "Have you found gold yet?" The finder said, "I thought, if only you knew." Indeed, there is Boudica. Yes, indeed. Boudica, she led a revolt against the Romans from 60 to 61 AD. The hoard of coins discovered in eastern England could have been a deposit from her war chest, it is thought. I came off the fields with a spade, a detector, and 2 heavy swinging shopping bags, praying the thin plastic handles would hold the weight. He carried the golden haul home in 2 supermarket carrier bags and notified his local coroner's office, which deals with any treasure finds in Britain. Yes, indeed. During the middle of the 1st century, the Celtic warrior Boudica was at war with the occupying Roman forces. So here's a little bit about the Boudican revolt, a little bit of history for you. It raged for 1 year and saw British tribes under Boudica of the Icena unsuccessfully try to defeat the Roman army. That's why I really wouldn't say it was a war. Boudica was queen of the Icena people, a British tribe who lived in what is today Norfolk and parts of Suffolk and Cambridgeshire. Her name is an early for the more commonly known name, Victoria. Her husband, Prasutagus, was a ruler of the Icena people, and the Romans allowed Prasutagus to continue as king, ruling on their behalf. But when Prasutagus died, the Romans decided to rule the Icena people directly and then confiscated the property of the leading Icena families. The Romans were also said to have stripped and whipped Boudica and raped her daughters as punishment, I guess, for the revolt. No, actually, that was what led to the revolt. The revolt resulted in Camulodunum, near Gloucester, London, and Verulamium, now St. Albans, being burnt to the ground while thousands of people on both sides lost their lives. Gloucester was the first target of the Boudican army, and many of the townspeople were rounded up and sacrificed in nearby groves. Pretty brutal for sure. Now, it is possible that the coins may have been a deposit from her war chest for her eastern campaigns. The Hoard is currently going through the treasure process in accordance with the Treasures Act of 1996. A coroner will decide whether the finder must offer the items for sale to the museum for set price or if he can keep it. Any proceeds that he makes will have to be shared with the owner of the field. Jules Evans Hart, editor of the Treasure Hunting magazine, said, "It's an amazing discovery. So far, between 950 to 1,300 coins seem to be figures quoted as were still in supermarket carrier bags. The coins form a substantial, if not enormous, contribution to our academic numismatic knowledge and will undoubtedly be subject to much assessment over the coming years. It is possible that they may form a deposit as a war chest for Boudica's eastern campaigns. Previous record with 850, and that was a Wickham market hoard found in 2008. At this stage, it seems highly likely that the discovery might well knock that find off the top spot for sure. Yes, indeed. Fascinating indeed. This is quite an incredible story of display here of these coins. Fascinating indeed. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to see something a little bit newer in terms of purchases that I made over the course of 2020, which is the here and the now, there'll be a link at the end screen of this video. I may put it in the description too, of my top 5 silver coins for 2020. Be sure to check that video out. I think you might find it interesting, or maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, there you have it. I hope you all are having a wonderful Christmas, and I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.